now that your ethics training class has been approved, it's time to add some people to the course. So in order to do that, you want to go and navigate back to your course. You can go into either propose a course and then go to your approved courses, or you can go to courses that I teach. And I also believe that you can go to administration and go to course administration. I'm going to click on, I've done the search, and so I'm going to click on Coppell High School Ethics Training, and I'm going to open the course back up. Once I do that, I'm in Manage Instructor-Led Course, and I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to find the section that I want to add people to. So down at the bottom, I'm going to find the section. And then I'm going to click the little drop-down arrow, and I'm going to click on it, and then I'm going to scroll. And I'm going to find the View Roster button. So I know there's nothing in it yet, but we're going to go ahead and view the roster. So if I click on View Roster, it's going to take me to the section roster. So I have some stuff at the top, and then I have all the magic buttons here in the middle of the screen. As you see, there are no users found for this roster yet, so I have to add them. So right now, I'm going to look at two buttons, the Add Learner button and the Add Learner Advanced. What you'll also notice is there's the wait list, removing people, the sign-in sheet, name tags and table tents, attendance. This is where you manage the credit. You can also manage multiple credits at one time now, so you can go in and just give everybody the same amount of credit. You can message the group and all sorts of things. So what we're going to do is look at these two buttons at the top. So Add Learner. If you click on Add Learner, you're going to do exactly what that button says, is you're going to add a learner at a time. So I'm going to click on Add Learner, and this is where I can go. So I can just search Nancy, and I can put in a bunch of other stuff. I can put in their employee ID, all that kind of stuff, but I'm just going to put in Nancy and click Search. And what that will do is it'll bring up any Nancy in your search feature. So like if you work for Coppell High School, you're only going to see Coppell High School people. If you work at Canyon Ranch, you're only going to see Canyon Ranch people. So there's Nancy Garvey. I just click the little checkbox, and then I click on Add Users. I'm not going to do that right now. Well, I guess I can. I'll click on Add Users. Now when I go back to the roster, you're going to see that I have been added to the roster. Okay, so that's one at a time. I can do that. Or I can use Add Learner Advanced and do a little more. So in here, it looks a little bit different. First thing you need to do is figure out how you're going to enter the users. So you can either enter their employee ID number, their username, or their email address. I don't know what TNL person ID is, so we're just going to go with these top three. So whichever one you have the most information for. Employee ID, you might have a spreadsheet of all of your employee IDs like on your campus. And so if you do, you can just copy the whole column of that spreadsheet and put it right here. You might just want to go ahead and type in their usernames if that's easier, or you may have a spreadsheet of all of their usernames. Or you can put in their whole email address. Okay, then you have to decide how you're going to separate each name. So you can do a new line, which will put, you just go, this person enter, this person enter, this person enter, this person enter, etc., etc. Or you can do it by comma, and you can do Nancy Garvey or N Garvey, comma, comma, comma. It's whichever one you're more comfortable with. I'm going to go ahead and do new line, and instead of employee ID, I'm just going to do username. Okay, then I'm going to type in some usernames. N Garvey, oh, I can't do that one, sorry. B Sims, C Gollner, L Springer, A Minton. Okay. Oops, I gotta spell that right. So see how each one is on a new line. I'm gonna look over here at the separator, says new line. Okay, I'm ready to go. Over here, I'm gonna add to the roster. You can also add to the roster and mark attendance complete, and you can get real fancy and do that. Or you can say, I wanna add this person even if the wait list is over the certain amount of people. And then you can also click this button and send them a registration confirmation. That means they'll get an email stating that they've been added to a certain course. I'm going to uncheck that because we don't need it right now. And then I'm just going to click on preview. I haven't actually added them yet. I'm just previewing. So now I'm looking to see if these people work out. Maybe I typed in a username wrong. If I did, it will show up with a red line and it will tell you that person isn't identifiable. In fact, let's go up here and try that. So I'm going to put in E. Pickrell, but I'm going to spell her name wrong. Okay, now I'm going to click on preview again. And now you'll see that E. Pickrell how I spelled it did not work out. It was not found, which means I need to go check the spelling or figure out maybe the username is a little different. Like, you know how most people are just their first name and their last name. Sometimes you have like people with the last name Smith. They may have a little bit different of a username. So I'm going to take that off, click on preview again. And these are the 4 people that are going to be added to my course. So if I just click on add 4 users, it will add those users to the roster. So it says here, bulk add learner processing is scheduled for this roster. Roster functionality is limited until processing has completed. That just means that the learner advanced, when you do it that way, it takes a little bit longer to add the learners. And so it just wants to tell you like, hey, you did it right. They're just not going to show up here yet. I think if I probably refresh now. Nope, still not ready. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and refresh again and just see if they're there. All right, so that orange bar is gone. So let's look down, and there are all my people. Okay, fantastic. So now I have all the people that are in my course. Now I want to print a sign-in sheet. If I click on sign-in sheet right from here, I'm going to get an error message, and it's going to tell me that it needs date and times before attendance can be managed. That's because we've added default times, but to make a sign-in sheet, you have to add specific days for the learning to happen. I'm going to close out of that. You don't actually have to do that. I was just showing you that if you tried to do it right after you added everyone, you're going to get an error. Okay. So when I'm done with this, I'm just going to go ahead and click done. And now I'm back into managing my course. I'm going to go back down to this screen at the bottom. I'm going to click my drop down. And this time, instead of viewing the roster, I need to manage the section and add a section time. So I'm going to click on manage. And I'm going to see that it says class times. It says no class time set. All we did up here was set a default start time and end time. Now we need to be more specific. So I'm going to go down to the bottom of the screen, and I'm going to click on class times. It's the second option. I click on class times. I click on add a new class time. The default will show up, and then I'll just click save and exit. Now, when I look at this section, you'll see that class times no longer has the red, and you have this class time here. Again, for this purpose, there's no need to like make this exactly the same time that you have the ethics training that week, just as long as it's someday during that week that we can track that it was done this school year. Then I'll just click down here on done. Fantastic. Now I can go back to my roster, drop down arrow, view roster. And now when I click on sign-in sheet, magic happens. And now I have all the people that are in my course. And now I can print a section code. Or sorry, not print, I just read that, sorry. Print a sign-in sheet. And then you're ready to go. As always, just let Brooke and I know if you have any questions as you're following through and creating your learners into your course or creating a sign-in sheet. Thank you.